It's a blessing to welcome on a top 30 prospect in the country, the first and the only commit of Florida's 2021 recruiting class, Kowacie Reeves. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Well, let's just get into this. You have gone through the recruiting process through the COVID pandemic. You're a Florida commit, but as you get closer and closer to getting on campus, how's the excitement continue to build up for you?
I just been getting more excited by the day. I mean, every day I'm in the gym working. I mean, I'm ready for my high school season, of course, but
Mhm.
but I'm looking forward to getting on campus and just seeing the environment and stuff.
And because you committed, you got it all out of the way. This high school season is really just a fun year for you. You're just going to focus on your accomplishments as a team personally. How excited for the season without dealing with the recruitment and everything else?
I think this I'll be able to be more focused. But I mean, because the first 3 years I was still going through the recruitment process, so you had that stuff to think about. But now I can just focus on straight basketball and that's it.
You have got some AU tournaments in. You've been able to rise your stock a lot. You're now top 30, a couple different sites. People are starting to see how special you are. How do people translate that, and how do you plan to be able to play now with this new added pressure, if you want to call it?
I mean, it's no added. It's not necessarily added pressure to me. I mean,
Mhm.
I just keep playing. I mean, that's because I mean rankings and stuff like that really don't matter once you're on the court. I mean, everybody play. So to me, it just keep playing and play hard and do what you do.
People that see you aren't really surprised. I mean, we all kind of seen you as a guy that's a five-star type of player. You're 6'6", still growing. You can shoot from wherever. You're athletic. Kind of break down the game though. What do you bring to a team? What will you bring to Florida when the time comes?
I mean, I just think I can bring intensity. I mean, I think I can learn a lot more and just do whatever they need me to do for me to accomplish my self goals and help my team.
You are a special kind of guy. I mean, there's a lot of comparisons. Some people say that Russell Westbrook, I mean, that could be a possibility option, but you have a lot better shot than he does. You're able to shoot from really wherever. And a guy that kind of remind me a lot of something like LaMelo Ball that can play from wherever, score, do whatever. Who are some guys that you personally compare yourself to, or you think you do play a lot like?
Um, I mean, I look at like older guys. So I'll tell you, I'm out of my game. Or look at, I would say like like Grant Hill and Reggie Miller and people like those type players. I mean, because as as they talk about facilitator, I don't think I'm a great facilitator myself because I always just been looking to score. But I think that's a role that I will be able to play, and I think that's something I can get better at as my game continues to grow.
You have a year to get on campus. Is that maybe the biggest thing you want to work on, or is there something else you really want to key in on before you get to campus?
That's probably one of the major things I want to work on, but I would just like to work on my whole game as a whole all together once I get there.
Look at your stat line: 21.3 points per game, nearly 7 rebounds, a little over 2.5 steals per game last year. Assists were down a little bit before that. But assist wise, where do you kind of want to get there? Is it kind of a target range you want to get your assist to?
It's not necessarily a target range. It's just every category for me is I just don't want to come back the same. So just get better in every category. It don't have to be that drastic. I mean, as long as I can see the improvement over the years, which I have been.
Last year was not only your school's breakout year, but yours as well. You guys finished 29 record, made a couple rounds in the playoffs. How do you have to grow on that? What's the expectations for you personally and as a team upcoming season?
Um, for me, it's just the same thing. The same goals: win the region, and then try to make us run at the state playoffs. And then personal goals. I mean, just like I say, just see gradual improvement as the years go by. Just little bit by little bit. That's how I get better.
Being in Georgia is not an easy state to be in. That's one state that I think is one of the best, if not the best state in the country to play in. How do you play against those kind of guys? What's it like going up night in, night out against one of the best players in the country?
I mean, to me, like I said earlier, going back to what I said earlier, it just once you get in the game and play, really everything goes out the door. Just the ball and players, and you just playing the game of basketball. I mean, all the other stuff, you really shouldn't. I don't really think about when I'm in the game. I just play.
Hmm. Now, there are kind of, it's a little bit harder for guys that are in the big states like Georgia, California, Texas, when there is just so many guys that are good. And even guys that aren't known, they're super talented guys. Like guys like Cameron McDowell is a guy that isn't ranked, but we all know he's special. How do you elevate yourself? How do you build the name and the brand you've been able to build amongst all this talent?
For me, it like it was just keep playing. I mean, because especially like you say in Georgia, but especially from the area that I come from. because I'm not from Atlanta, of course. I mean, it's very hard to get yourself out there, but for me, it's just going to the right places and just doing the right things that'll get you out there. I mean, it's just not necessarily about just all the big name stuff. Just make sure you going to the right places and have contact with the right people and stuff like that.
When would you say it clicked for you? When did you start realizing that you could become one of the best players in the country and that you have a game that's going to translate to the college game and potentially even the pros?
I would say it probably clicked around like going into my 10th grade summer.
Mm-hmm.
Like that year, I was like not the summer that just passed, but the previous summer when we got to play a lot of AAU ball. That's when it really clicked for me. Like I could do some big things for my city and where I come from and stuff like that. Because I was having a great AAU season this summer, and a lot of people were recognizing it.
Was there a game you particularly remember that really was your breakout game for you?
Um, I don't think it was a game because that summer, I mean, we were playing, bro. We were playing everybody. I mean, and I was just having great games when we were playing on the big stages. So I think it was just like I say, the whole summer all together.
Because of that summer is when people started noticing you, your rankings went up, but also your offers went up, which is a big thing. You got offers from obviously we know Florida, but you get Georgia, Georgia Tech, Clemson, Stanford, Texas, Alabama. I mean, this list goes on and on. What was it like getting all these offers and having all these colleges want you?
For me, it was for me as the I mean as it's when it first started. I mean, I was amazed and overwhelmed, and I just liked it. But as it went on, it started to be the motivation for me as a person. I mean, because like just seeing that, just showing me I could do those things like that, and just empowering the youth and younger people in my city that just showing them that they can do it. I mean, that was just special for me, which motivated me.
We just talked about that, but growing up and being able to come out from all different kinds of talent, just coming out from a place that's not really a basketball spotlight, if you want to call it. What's your advice to the people that are dealing with that, and what's your advice to be able to rise up and become a national player like you have become?
Really just keep playing and just everybody and just remember that everybody's path is different. Like me, like uh, all the whole time I've been playing summer ball, I never played on the SchuZ team,
Mm-hmm.
and but you see, I still got where I was at. So it really you just do what fits you and what comes to you. That's how I just looked at it.
Why'd you take that route? We see today it's so big about becoming a EYBL team, becoming a Adidas 3SSB team, becoming an UAA team. Why'd you take the different route?
Uh, it was really because I mean I really never really got into the shoes thing, and it wasn't because I didn't want to or I mean I looked at it a couple times, considered it maybe, but at the end of the day, to me, it really didn't make sense for me to do that because my name was already buzzing. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you can get on a shoe team and have 50. I mean, the whole team is buzzing. So you can get lost like that. So I was just doing the thing that made most sense to me and just staying loyal to the people who I had been playing with because the team I was on, we've been playing together since we were, I mean, fifth, sixth grade. So it just made sense to me.
Would you say all those reasons are kind of the same reason why you haven't really decided to go to a big prep school or maybe even play a national schedule school?
Probably so. That would probably be one because I mean I could have if I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to, but it's just all about what makes sense for me. I mean, because even if we're not playing a national schedule, well, of course we're not this year because of COVID, but
Yeah.
even if we weren't playing the national schedule, we were still playing some of the best teams in the country, so or some of the best talent in Georgia, I would say. So, like I say, it really didn't make sense for me to do that.
So let's go back to your very first offer that day comes in. What's that day like? Kind of take us through learning that you're going to have your college paid for.
I mean, the the day it happened, they actually had came to see another guy who they were recruiting
Mhm.
uh prior that week, and then they told my dad like later that night, and me hearing that news, I mean, it was a special moment for me. It was really, like you say, motivating, just showing me that I can do it and I could actually become a good player and be a big name in my city. So that's what the day really was like for me.
And throughout this recruiting process, you took an interesting approach. You didn't really make it a well-known thing. There weren't a lot of people that knew where you're going to be heading. We know Florida's now the answer, but throughout this process, why just kind of keep it low key like that?
I mean, it wasn't on purpose. It was just that's just how I am. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
just decided to once all the because some stuff in the recruitment process is just fluff. It's just stuff just some school might offer you or just talk to you
Mm-hmm.
because they saw another school do it and don't talk to you anymore. So you have to just decipher that type of stuff. And once I got all that figured out, I mean, it really wasn't nothing to the recruitment process. It was just making a hard decision and just weighing out all the pros and cons of the decision.
Now, as I said, Florida, we know that's where we're going to be heading, but was there another school that was in the mix for you that you also were heavily considering?
Yes, those last three, Georgia Tech, and Stanford, I was heavily considering those two alongside with Florida.
So what's the name of those two programs? Why did you like them a lot?
I only took two official visits, and that was to Florida and Stanford. But Georgia Tech, I had been there about 2 or 3 times on unofficials, and I mean, do you have a one of the things about them I like is if you come in and do what you're supposed to do, you have a really good chance of playing as a freshman because they get guys in and out of their school. I like that. I like that about their program. And Stanford, I just think it was a different type of feel to their environment and program. I mean, it was a more individual based. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like more connected. I mean, if I would say, I don't know how to really explain it, but I just like the whole feel of it when I went out there.
What was the separating factor? Why was Florida ultimately the school you chose over those other two?
Really, um, really, I would say the consistency of the recruitment. Like I've said, probably a million times when people ask me that question, but that was truly it because, like you say, they came in on day one and said and told me basically I'm their guy and they go stick to it. And a lot of programs said that from day one, but a lot of programs didn't keep their word, and that's what ultimately just set them apart from everyone else.
You're going to be joining Coach White. He's going to become your head coach in a year. How excited are you to be coached by him?
I'm really excited. I mean, I talk to him about every single day. He shows me stuff they do in practice and offenses and stuff like that, and I just decided to get to know him more as a person, things like that.
As of people that's watched college basketball, that see these coaches, we see them as what they do on the court. You get to talk to them on a regular basis. What's it like off the court? What's it like just as a man on the day-to-day life?
Oh, he's a real family oriented guy, so he likes to hang with family. I mean, just chill around. I mean, he likes for his players to connect with his family, and he just a real fun guy to be around, and he teaches the players a lot about life and skills off the court.
When you commit, you are the first and only commit. You still are the only guy to commit to 2021 for Florida. Why is that what you chose? I know some guys are a little bit hesitant to become the first guy in a class. Why were you confident doing that?
Because, like I said, they told me I was their guy, and they stuck to their word. I mean, but I would like to have some other guys come to the class, and I don't know, they're looking at some other guys, and some other guys are interested. I'm just waiting, sit back, looking, see who wants to join in the 2021 class.
Who are some of your guys' targets? If you could put together a dream class, maybe two, three other guys, or however many there are, who's kind of your dream class?
Uh, I know Alex Fudge. We were looking at Alex Fudge, and he just dropped the top 10, so he's committed October 10th. So we'll see what happened with that. And I know he was one, and then it was Carter Witt was one, but he just committed to Wake Forest. Those two would be nice, but I really don't know anyone else like that. But those two were ones that I would like to play with. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. I mean, some guys want to choose what situation they think best for them at the time. You can't judge them for that.
Absolutely. And for Alex's part, he's another special guy. He's been rising up. People are starting to realize how special he is. I think some people have him top 30 now, but everyone knows who this guy is now. If you could be joined up by him, team up in college together at Florida, what could you guys possibly accomplish?
I think we can accomplish a lot. I mean, because they already have talent at the school that's still gonna be there when we're there. That we're gonna be able to learn from the upperclassmen and what they've done. And also, his game altogether just complements mine. He's a long, athletic guy. He's taller than me, so that'll play a part, and we can play at the same time. We won't play the exact same position, so that would be ideal.
You talk to Alex and you try to influence him or try and entice him to go to Florida. What's up with Florida? Why would you tell him that Florida is better than the other 9 schools he has in there?
Um, Basically, I just tell them like, I mean, there's no place. I mean, I think for his situation, I mean, I don't know the specifics of his situation, but just from the outside looking in, it would look like a good fit for him. I mean, because that's what it's really about, finding a good fit, not the biggest name or things of that sort. Because, like you say, you have other schools recruiting you that's bigger than this school or that school that's also recruiting you, but it's about the right fit and where you're gonna play it and be comfortable with the next 4 years of your life, possibly.
Alex is another guy. I mean, I think every basketball player has hopes of playing in the NBA, but both you and Alex kind of have the expectations of playing in the NBA someday, being top guys in the country. How would you balance that, having 2 guys on a roster that are trying to make the NBA at the same time?
For me, it's like I say, it's just when you. That's not the end all be all for me. I mean,
Mhm.
that would be nice if the opportunity presented itself, but I'm just not trying to make that a rush. You see what I'm saying? So it's like for me, once I'm in the game, I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking about winning the game at the time. So it wouldn't be nothing for me to balance that out.
Absolutely. Well, 2020 has a solid class. Samson's a guy I think is really special. Niles Lane's another big player. A couple of transfers came in as well. Do you know any of those guys in 2020 yet?
I know some of those guys. I know Sam. I talked to him probably a couple of times, and I know some of the older guys, like Quiz Glover, Jason Tobo. I know some of the older guys. So I think they have a good group and they have a good chance this year, and especially when we get there, some of those guys still there. I think we can make some big things happen.
Florida is a school that with different coaching staff. Coach Billy Donovan was a coach that did a lot of the big stuff with them, but they still have a lot of history at Florida. They were national champion about 10 plus years ago. The NBA players that are in the NBA today from Florida are incredible. When you look at Bradley Beal, you look at Joakim Noah, you look at all these different players. How do we restart that? How could you possibly make Florida a contending team or your national champion once again?
I just think I can just bring what I can do to the table every night and just do everything possible to help my team win. Just give them all every night, day in and day out.
AAU wise, you were in Georgia. You got to play some tournaments this past year, and that's where, like I said, you rose your stock a lot. Why did you ultimately choose to play with Georgia Magic, and what was this past year like?
Um, like I said earlier, I mean, that's just what made sense to me. I knew I wasn't gonna play a lot this summer. I
Mhm.
only played in one tournament. It was like 3 games, but I mean, like you said, I rose my stock a little bit. But like I said, it's just what made sense to me. I've been playing with those guys since fourth, fifth grade, and also that's the team I was playing with when I blew up. So why just bail out on them for a SchuZ team? I mean, there's nothing wrong with a SchuZ team, like you say, but it's just all about what's for you. You got to look at the individual, what's best for you, and what makes sense for you.
If someone watched some of those highlights of you when you were playing AAU this past summer, you see your range. We know that in any kind of mix, if you watch you've got really a ton of range for you. When did you start being confident, know that you could shoot the ball from as far deep back as you shoot it from?
Um, I became that confident because I mean not because, but I became that confident probably about last school season, not AAU, because I worked on it a lot the summertime. So once I get in the game, I mean if it feel good and I'm open, and I mean I just shoot it. I mean it's a make or miss game, so that's how I look at it.
Where on the court do you feel confident shooting it from?
I mean anywhere to be honest, because I practice for it. And that's another reason that I started practicing from farther back, because as the levels increase of play and competition from through college, NBA, high school, the line gets farther back, and I never want that to be a problem for me. So that's why I always practice from far back. Now.
You're an example of this new modern era basketball. Kind of people want to call it the Steph Curry era. I think 5, 10 years ago, shooting near half court shots or even half court pull ups would have been made fun of. No coach would have coach probably would have made you punish for that. Nowadays, it's almost enticed. You kind of have to have the part of your game if you want to make the next level because there's a guy like Damian Lillard, this guy like Trey Young, D'Angelo Russell. I mean, these guys are pulling from wherever. What's this new era basketball like, and how's it like translating into becoming this type of player at the high school level?
The new era of basketball, I think it does affect how people play. because they now guys are changing their games to fit what the demand is. So like guys, they want guys that can defend and shoot threes from distance. And that's what guys are doing now. I mean, like you can even see centers that most of their careers didn't shoot any threes, like Brook Lopez, for example.
Mhm.
And now he's a sharpshooter from 3-pointer. So that's how the game is just changing.
I know you also love the game of basketball and you heavily involved. You know players, you watch NBA college games. But why do you have so much love for it? And how does that kind of translate to your love off the court of basketball?
I fell in love with the game just playing it and learning more about it. I mean, I've been playing it since I was 4 years old, so it was introduced to me at an early age, and it just stuck with me throughout my life. It just was a way to relieve stress. I mean, it was a way to just do a lot of stuff uh, that in life. I mean, you have stuff going on, so basketball just was an outlet for me.
And you've grown up now in a basketball family. Your sister's playing basketball now. Your dad is a big figure in the basketball world, especially in Georgia. What's it like just having this basketball, growing up in this, and having kind of basketball culture in your blood?
Um, I mean, it's nice for me just to see how basketball impacts my whole family and life. I mean, I just like how it does. Like you say, now my sister's getting into it, liking how to play basketball, and my dad's been a big influence on my life in basketball and just really our whole city's basketball influence. So it's nice.
I know your dad's always had a ton of confidence in you, and a lot of stories out there about him talking to guys, telling them how special you were going to become. Not a lot of people believe that up until about a year ago. Just having a dad that has confidence in you and pushes you to become who you are now and who you will become. What's that been like?
Um, it's been helpful. I mean, I thank him for it because I mean, like you say, he believed in me when nobody else did, and it shows now because a lot of people believe in me, but just having a dad, I'm grateful for that because a lot of people can't say that they have somebody that supports them. I have a support system as strong as I do.
I want to discuss a little bit your Instagram posts. I know you have a different way of commenting. A lot of different players have that, especially guys like Cam Newton pros. You do a lot of different stuff with your comments. Why is that kind of the route you want to take and discuss your Instagram posts?
I mean, that's just what I'm into. I mean, off the court stuff. I mean, I like anime and stuff. I like that whole culture. So, I mean, I'm just into that type of stuff. And no reason. That's just what I like to do.
Absolutely, man. A few more things before I let you go. I was like wrapping up discussing building a legacy for yourself and long-term aspect. So when you're done playing this game of basketball, what do you want to be remembered for and for what you achieve and accomplish both on and off the court?
I just want to be remembered as a guy that was helpful to the game. I mean, did a lot for the game and gave it his all, and motivated others to play and do whatever they wanted to do in life.
I know you're also a believer, your family is a believer. Discuss your relationship with God and how that really started.
Uh, Same way with basketball, a young age introduced to me, going to church, a lot of stuff like that. I mean, it wasn't just emphasized and pushed on me. They just let same way basketball was just pushed on me. It was just something that was introduced to me and that I had gravitated towards.
When would you say was your turning point? I mean, there's always that point where you truly take the relationship with God kind of into your own personal hands and really start that relationship of your own with Him. When was that for you?
I would say probably as beginning to be like a teenager, like 13, 14, just starting to think more and just starting to have your own views and opinions on things.
And as you go forward, you're going to have a bigger and bigger platform throughout the rest of your high school career, college, and then pros. How do you people continue to spread His word?
Um, just how I've been doing, just keep playing and doing it for him, and everything else go take care of itself.
Amen, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on today. Keep doing your thing, man. Keep being the light. Of
Gotcha. Appreciate you, man.
course, you're always welcome on, man. God bless.
All right, you too.